Legacy of Kain Soul Reaver is a classic action-adventure game and is perfect for speedrunning. It features a super speed flight glitch that is super fun to use, as well as the ability to freeze time and even teleport through walls. In the past few years though, the original release of Soul Reaver has not seen that much speedrun activity. Part of this is due to the run's inherent difficulty, but there have also been no major changes to the runs outside of small movement optimizations. In November of 2024, a brand new glitch was discovered with the potential to save minutes in multiple categories. Let's talk about Fly Stop, what it's capable of, and what it means for the future of Soul Reaver speedrunning. In order to understand why this new Fly Stop glitch is so important, we need to discuss the biggest barrier to fast times in this game: cutscenes. Soul Reaver released before cutscene skipping was a commonly implemented feature in games. Both Soul Reaver games are notorious for these cutscenes, to the point where I actually managed to make myself a sandwich and eat it during the start of one of my own all bosses runs, with time to spare.
I am so tempted to get a fucking PS3 that has an SSD installed.
While the remaster for Soul Reaver introduced a cutscene skip feature, speedruns of the original release have been skipping them for years with glitches and clever routing. For example, some cutscenes can be jumped over or avoided entirely by phasing into the spectral realm. But in the vast majority of cases, that just isn't possible or feasible. As a result, the most frequent and powerful technique that we can use to avoid cutscenes is something called time stop. In Soul Reaver 1, the game has a glyph select menu that is normally used to select and cast spells. While this menu is active, enemies, objects, and even your character are frozen in place. By positioning Raziel between two loading triggers, his idle animation will cause him to drift between one loading zone and another. You can see this in real time whenever the glyph menu flickers as he moves from left to right. If you close this menu on the frame where you see this flicker, or rather when he transitions between the loading zones, it will unfreeze Raziel's movement and allow you to walk around with the menu still active. This is called the time stop glitch, and there are tons of ridiculous things you can do with it. For example, you can freeze enemies in place to sneak past them safely, you can deload actors like this door in Dumas Fortress, and you can even snap your neck. Nice! The biggest perk of time stop is that cutscenes cannot activate while the glitch is active. So if you were to activate time stop, run past a cutscene trigger, and then cancel the glitch, you could in theory skip any cutscene you wanted to. Now, the time stop glitch has a big limitation that prevents this from being universally applicable. Outside of crouch jumping, vertical mobility is fairly limited in this game, and many areas have obstacles or level geometry that would prevent us from simply walking through a lot of these cutscene triggers. If you've been paying attention up until this point, you might be thinking to yourself, well, hold on a sec, what about that flight glitch we saw earlier? Wouldn't that give us a way to get up and over these barriers? You would be correct, but unfortunately, we cannot activate the flight glitch once time stop is in play. If we could in theory combine these two glitches together, it would open the door for huge new cutscene skips as well as faster versions of the ones we already have. So then why haven't we been able to use the flight glitch with time stop? Well, it's all in the details of how the flight glitch is typically activated. In order to understand the flight glitch, we first need to cover the Swiss Army knife of Soul Reaver speedrunning, the Breakout Glitch. Since Soul Reaver was designed to be played on PlayStation 1, which at launch didn't feature analog sticks on the controller, the game's camera is instead turned by pressing a distinct left and right camera turn button. If you press both of these buttons together, it will freeze Raziel in place and center the camera behind him in a quasi-first person perspective. Weirdly enough, the recentering of the camera cannot occur if you were crouching, in which case the game will wait until the crouch is either released or cancelled. Opening the glyph menu is one such way of cancelling this crouch. We can exploit this by crouching, holding the two camera buttons, and then pulling up the glyph select menu. If done properly, the camera will recenter behind Raziel during the glyph select menu's pull-up animation, which normally shouldn't be happening. If you then continue to hold the camera buttons after you close the glyph menu, you can then control Raziel while in first-person mode. This state, known as the Breakout Glitch, doesn't appear to be super useful at first outside of looking funny while walking around. But if you release the camera buttons, it will cancel or break out of whatever animation Raziel is doing and give you immediate movement control. This is extremely busted if used properly. The biggest use is for canceling a high jump into another high jump, which effectively allows you to double jump. You can also cancel door opening animations to move through areas faster. The list goes on. This glitch is also a fundamental step in performing the flight glitch. Remember those glyph spells I mentioned earlier? Spells are another animation that can be interrupted with the use of the Breakout Glitch, and one of those spells in particular has a very interesting property. When cast, the Force Glyph will alter Raziel's animation speed to be much higher than normal until after the spell is done casting. We can use this Breakout Glitch to harness the speed increase and trigger the flight glitch. In order to get this speed increase to be persistent, we need to do two different steps, a priming phase and an activation phase. To prime the Speedup glitch, we simply activate the Breakout glitch, cast the Force Glyph spell, and then we let go of the camera buttons to interrupt it. Now, the Speedup glitch is primed and ready to be activated whenever we wish. If we then step forward and open up the glyph menu, Raziel will start spinning in an attempt to perform the spellcast animation. If you then close the menu while this is occurring, the Speedup glitch will now be activated. Notice how much faster his idle animation is already? All of Raziel's animations, including jumping, gliding, attacking, etc., will move much faster than before. Once the Speedup glitch is active, you can then perform the flight glitch by high jumping, pressing jump again to hover, and then pressing the glide button at a very specific timing. This will cause the glide animation to accelerate you upwards instead of downwards, which enables flying almost anywhere. The Speedup glitch does have some limitations that can make it pretty easy to cancel by accident. Performing certain glitches like running, crouching, sneaking, or reactivating the glyph menu will revert Raziel back to normal speed. So then what's stopping us from using this flight glitch with time stop? Well, if you remember, the first step to getting time stop to work is to open the glyph menu. And as I just mentioned, the easiest way to cancel the Speedup glitch is by opening the glyph menu. Additionally, spells cannot be cast during time stop, which means that activating one of these glitches means that you're essentially locking yourself out of the other glitch. As a result, it was believed for years that the flight glitch and the time stop glitch were mutually incompatible with each other. But recently, this assumption was proven dead wrong. In November of 2024, myself and another glitch hunter named Drifting Pancake were investigating a method to skip a cutscene in the Drowned Abbey area for both all bosses and 100% speedruns. In testing time stops in this hallway right before the cutscene, I accidentally activated the Speedup glitch during the time stop state. You can get flight during time stop! Holy banana. I'm a genius! But how was this possible? The secret had to do with the priming and activation phases I mentioned when discussing the Speedup glitch earlier. It turns out that if you prime the animation Speedup glitch, it remains primed even after the glyph select menu was activated. It had previously been discovered that actions such as phasing into the spectral realm would unprime the Speedup glitch, so it was incorrectly assumed that opening this menu was what caused this unpriming to occur. So if you were to prime the Speedup glitch, trigger time stop, then perform the activation phase of the Speedup glitch, it will give you the effects of both glitches at the same time. This discovery, dubbed Fly Stop, immediately allowed me to fly up and past the Drowned Abbey cutscene trigger, instantly saving 30 seconds in speedruns. With further testing, we both realized that we had hit the jackpot and a new metagame was upon us. Flying is by far the fastest way to get around in Soul Reaver. After gaining height, you can repress the glide button midair to build up extra speed, and this lets you go ridiculously fast. This means that previous time stop setups that we were already using could incorporate fly stop to make the movement faster and improve consistency. The biggest example of this is for the setup to bypass the Seraphan Tomb opening cutscene. This previously required what's called a telestab to bypass the cutscene and skip most of the area. This is a very difficult trick that, if performed incorrectly, could cost you your entire run. Instead, we can zoom past this whole setup with fly stop and slip through a hole in this fence to accomplish the exact same thing much faster. So, what does the future for this game hold now that fly stop's been discovered? Most recently, we discovered a fly stop setup that allows us to get the flight glitch in the final stretch of hallways before the final boss, which saves a ton of time and movement, and at the time of recording allowed me to complete the world's first ever sub-hour speedrun in the all bosses category for Soul Reaver 1. Yes! We got it! Fuck yes. Oh my god. Additionally, there's potential to find even more useful fly stop setups. At the moment, we're a few steps away from skipping several cutscenes in and around Dumas Fortress, and this also has huge implications for 100% speedruns. The Seraphan Tomb cutscene skip that I mentioned earlier was previously slow in 100% due to needing to grab a warp gate, but now with Fly Stop, it is much more feasible and faster to go for this. Other areas like New Praptor's Retreat and Lighthouse are prime targets for cutscene skips that are exclusive to 100%, and I'm really excited to see how far we can push the time down in 100% in the coming months. If you're interested in keeping up with more developments in Soul Reaver speedruns and underground speedrunning as a whole, be sure to subscribe to the channel and like the video. I really want to shine a light on games and speedruns that don't often get coverage, and subbing and liking the video goes a super long way into getting these videos in front of more people. This is my first time ever making content like this, so any feedback or suggestions in the comments would be super appreciated. Lastly, I want to thank the Legacy of Kain speedrunning community for making this video and these speedruns possible. I want to give in particular a special shout out to Drifting Pancake for helping me investigate Fly Stop and for finding so much of the stuff you just saw. I also want to thank Victus for helping me to learn this game initially and for pushing the speedruns for this game so far already. If you're a huge fan of these games or want to speedrun them yourself, come join the Legacy of Kain series Discord linked in the description. I also stream live attempts of speedruns for Soul Reaver and many other hidden gems over at twitch.tv/Jaxler1, also linked below. I've been Jaxler, thank you so much for watching this video.